Hey, Teresa, how you doing? Let's go ahead and take a look. Good, really good writing, though. You're expressing yourself quite nicely. That's fantastic. So your good examples, and this is great that you picked stylistically two completely different styles associated with the illustrations. And they're both great, right? But they're completely different in terms of conceptual approach and the style associated with the execution of these illustrations. I think that we can all take a look at your bad example and say that's just plain terrible. And one of the reasons that this is not a good illustration, this is not good design, is because there's no defined focal point. There's no hierarchy associated with the illustration. So the viewer, as viewers, we need to be guided through anything, any sort of composition. That's why we have jobs as designers. It's our job to lead the viewer through a composition, whether the composition be a multi-page composition or a simple a single illustration like this. So we need to create visual contrasts, and we need to create these contrasts in order to establish hierarchy. Okay, and hierarchy will establish a focal point. It will give the viewer a good way to start and a direction to look through the illustration or the composition. This doesn't have that, so the viewer ends up. The reason this is so visually uncomfortable is because we're going like this. When we look at it, we look here and we look here and we look here. Okay, what am I supposed to be looking at? You see what I'm saying? That's why that's so uncomfortable. Whereas these clearly have visual focal points associated with them. Okay, and that's established by contrast, both in color, texture, and scale. So that's fantastic. Now, what I want you to do is I'd like you to answer a question for me, okay? I want you to describe the difference in the feeling between this and this, okay? And this, and describe what situation you would see this type of illustration being used in and this type of illustration. Obviously, has a much more digital feel to it, as we can see right through here with the gradients and the different kind of color associated with it, and the intricacies associated with some of the shading techniques, where here it's interesting because this has no shading techniques. This is fully flat, which is super trendy and has been for the last 5 years, and looks like it will be for a while. So I'd like you to kind of describe the difference that you get, the feeling that you get looking at this and then looking at this, and then describe where you see each one of these being used expeditiously. Okay, great job. Really good job. All right, so if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you very much.